May I have your full name, please?
Joey Chang.
Okay, thank you, Joey, and it's nice to work with you for I think, a year or more.
Yeah.
You've been an accountant and a property manager. Can you think about the challenge which you happening at the last year with this changing of the jobs, or maybe something where you're living in a community?
Sure. I mean, I guess one of the greatest challenges from being in the accounting department to now working as a strata manager is definitely something that has been challenging for me before is public speaking. Public speaking and writing is another one of my challenges as well. In terms of writing, before when I was in school, it usually took me a long time to write something. I write something and then I look at it for like 10-15 minutes and be like, well, that doesn't look right, or I think that could be improved. So sometimes it takes me a long time to write something.
Yeah, Joey, for me it was the same. Actually, I'm studying English for maybe over 20 years, even more, 25 years, quarter century. Because even I studied in English language school back in my country, there were periods of time where I didn't use the English, and as they say, if you don't use it, you lose it.
Yeah, for sure.
So for me it was also a challenge, especially coming in a different, even when I go to make application for Canada, I have to study to recall all these tenses and grammars, and they have 4 steps of interviews. I mean, one of the interviews was vocally, how you speak. I was the best one, but the grammar, no. Yesterday I saw on the TV Grammarly, a special program, free download. If you can use it, I'll use it because it gives you the option of the words, which you can use Grammarly, and it was in YouTube. And I was watching some documentary, and it pops up, so I said, wow, this is very good advertisement. I'll have to look for that also.
I still do that now. I have to Google, I'm like, oh, does that even sound right? Or so I Google like the phrase, I'm like...
Yeah, but this program I think is a free download where it attaches to Outlook, to other Words program. So when you type it, it's gonna shows you the mistake right away. I have to test it, and we're gonna express our feelings. So that was your biggest challenge, writing English in this business, because we know that the correspondence is very important. I mean, why did you this bothers you most? I mean, why don't you bother, let's say, the attitude of some customers or something else? Why exactly this bothers you most, if you can specify, Joey, if you don't mind?
Most likely because it's very time consuming for me to do, let's say, minutes of council meetings or annual general meetings. You know, dealing with strata council, for me that's less bothersome. Just I don't know. I tend to get along with most of them, but it's mostly writing and public speaking. I guess that would be more so back when I was studying. That was more of a challenge.
And what solutions did you try to solve this challenge, if you don't mind?
Yeah, so I guess it was worse before, but I tended to take more courses that had more one-on-one help, or more presentations or group discussions, you know, that would help me with my public speaking and writing. So I guess it's been improved since school to where I'm at now.
Did you try Toastmasters, for example?
No, but I have been referred to by several people. They said it really helped them.
Yeah, I mean, you cannot, they don't teach you there to monetize some product. It's a different product where, if you're interested later, I can tell you which is the gentleman and mentor who can help you that, because Toastmasters, they're giving you only the specifics where you're training this fear to be controlled, because this fear never goes away. I'm a Toastmaster, I can tell you, it makes me speak, and I'm watching TEDx sometimes, and I see the speakers, but it's very dangerous sometimes, because you have to know how to speak. Some of the motivational speakers, we know they're speaking very loud, but technically I've heard from a different mentor that when you talk like now we are talking, this is the best way. Because when you shout and scream, or even when you're enthusiastic, people can think, oh, this guy is hungry or didn't eat, or I don't know, he wants to sell us something, let's not trust him. Yes, they can appreciate your enthusiasm, but to a certain point. Most of them, they want this calm conversation where you can really suggest, not impose, not push. Suggest that. So Toastmaster is one of the issue, but of course you have to sacrifice your evenings, not every time, but it's helping you and by repeating it and that. But anyway, that's a good solution that you go and try to speak more and more. What didn't work and what happened as a result of all these efforts? What didn't work out? I mean, if you can be honest.
So please, I guess as an example, I was taking a course where we had to do original research projects, and we met once every week. So each week, one of my colleagues would present their original research project, and it was a 3-hour course every week. So he would present his project, and it would be a Q&A session for the rest of the course. So it was literally just his classmates and a professor grilling him for 2 hours on his research project. So I guess back then I volunteered to be in the later ones to present their project, just so I can see like, oh, what kind of questions are my classmates usually asking, and what can I learn before I do my presentation. And I try to do as much preparation as possible. What are some of the more common questions people ask, and then I'll have like a response to it or a generic response to it. And when you do too much preparation, and then they tend to ask more questions that you didn't prepare for, and that's when you're just kind of caught off guard. And I've seen this when I first started as a community manager. You go to so many meetings and owners ask some questions that are just totally not related, and you're just kind of like, how do you respond to that?
And how did you ultimately solve these issues? What did you come to your mind?
I guess not so much has happened at the job, but I actually just, when that happened, I said, I honestly do not have an answer for your question at this point. But I will include that as in my paper when I'm done finishing it. I'll address.
No, you don't need to apply the paper. For me, it's you shouldn't stress out of questions which you don't have the answer. I was told that when you don't have an answer, I'll check you, come back to you again. And you write down the question, you follow up. This is I think everything in every business, because you cannot know all the answers. There is no person who knows the answers of everything. I'm just asking whether you figure out what to respond, how to react, because it's okay if they find you vulnerable. I've heard this in one very nice, if you watch it, if it's very nice business orientated program called The Profit with Marcus Limonis. And there he's saying that people want to see you, that you're vulnerable, that you have some kind of issue. If you're too perfect, let's say you can dress perfectly, okay, but if let's say you can make presentation, but sometimes you have to show that you are human. You're not kind of perfect, because there's no perfection. There's always kind of improvement. Even one of the greatest speakers say there is always improvement. Practice makes perfect, we say. No. Practice makes improvement. You always improve yourself. You always make mistakes, and that's what this fear is, that why we are making mistakes, because technically those who do not do nothing, they don't make mistakes.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
You agree with that, so don't worry about it. Maybe you can think about it, this kind of small suggestion. What do you recommend to the others with your challenge? What they have to do? Coming from accounting to public speaking, you're saying?
for sure.
What you're gonna recommend them, what they can do in order to jump a little bit and over not jump but kind of adapt themselves to a different way you have to speak a lot?
Well, yeah, I mean, for sure, you already mentioned that something like Toastmasters, of
Yes.
course, they would, prepare you for more of a role in public speaking.
Yes.
But I guess in general, sometimes you're scared of it, and then when you actually do it, and then afterwards you're just kind of like, well, that wasn't too bad.
So to jump into the fear.
Yeah.
I've heard that, by the way, from one gentleman. He said when you feel the fear, jump into it.
Yeah.
And there's another quote from Winston Churchill: when you go through hell, keep going. Don't stay there, because when you get stuck, and you sink, I mean, that's why I'll explain to it. Of course, it's very easy to say, because if you caught in a situation like we know, in our job, they start yelling and doing, you can stress out and you lose the focus.
Yeah.
But the idea is you train ourselves and to have a thick skin, because we will be attacked.
Yeah.
I mean, in any job,
eventually,
in any job, easier or not easier, and you will be attacked verbally. Thank God, not physically, but verbally at least you will be attacked.
Yeah.
So, what are some things to look out for? What do you think? What's your suggestion? What some differences? What do you think can be changed in the preparation of property management? Because let's be honest here, and I want to express this feeling to the whole world, that there is no the same level of education for us comparing with lawyers and doctors. Lawyers are studying 7 years, doctors 15 years.
Yeah.
And since after they go out, they don't know how to do the business, but they know, at least they know the skills. But we are here kind of earning and learning and suffering and earning and learning. So, I mean, our job is more as an experience job, not like a preparation.
Yeah, to be quite honest, what I took from the strata management course, what I learned from it, and what I learned from this job from actually doing it, you can't even compare it. When I first started, it seems like nothing was even related. It's different from lawyers or doctors. This is definitely something you'd have to learn. Yeah.
It's not kind of, you cannot put it in a textbook.
No, for sure.
I am trying to do that with this program, because I would like to address the issue with the owners that usually property manager is building up for years and years and years.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's accumulation of experience. Actually, it's not steady laws, mathematical law, and even you're accountant, so you can see even there's a changes, but still you have some kind of base. Here the base is only one act, but at the same time you have to know you're not a lawyer. You're not an engineer, you're not this, you're not that, and you have to be careful here, because
there's so many cases and examples of things that you're just not even sure how it relates to the act, and if it's this section that applies, or if it's some other section that applies. You from the course itself, you don't know how to apply any of these things. It's from doing the job.
Yeah, what made the difference, let's say, overcoming these challenges for you and becoming a property manager? Because it was kind of, especially with the writing, what do you think made the difference, and how you gonna implement that in future?
Well, I think for sure, taking courses where I actually got some more help, and or with this job, I have directors that look over my minutes. I still make mistakes.
But same with me.
Yeah, but at least I've reduced them by quite a bit. Back then, I used to have run-on sentences for like a full paragraph.
I remember my sentences too, as well. Trying to say something in your own way, but don't forget that you're thinking about your language.
Yeah.
You have to think in English, which is the most difficult part.
Yeah. So
that's good. That's you improving your writing and skills, and Yes, because this can go in court. We know that, and can be read in a different way by lawyers, especially. They can interpret it as because they know the words, the meaning, and the linguistic, the something. I think this is the thing which we're missing here. This is the legal case. We're not to be a lawyer, but at least to know the words, how to use them properly.
Yeah.
Because did you pass a test on top of the property management license course?
No.
I passed because as an immigrant they asked me to pass a level 4, one of their educational courses, and more money of course, because otherwise they say, well, I say we don't know how you know the English. It's an essay and grammar. Okay. They have 4 parts, but they took only 2, and I have to pass. I think it 5 from 6, which is good. They needed 4 from 6, but now I don't know whether they're going to increase it or not.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they really know the legislator want us to be most prepared in order to serve our customers. I hope this conversation is good.
Yeah.
And I hope, and as I said, I'm going to invite you if I have when I have this presentation for my product, my new book. I have one book already.
Yeah.
I can send it to you.
Sure.
But I would like it to make more practical, to go on the second step, using the more information, interaction with different people from different continents, because I think the community issue is that first, the community itself, it's very it's very difficult to be defined, and second, the property manager role is completely different and in every part of the world different, and also somewhere you don't have it. I don't think in China they have it.
They follow the well, I don't know about China, but I'm from Hong Kong, and they follow the United Kingdoms.
So they don't have property manager there.
They do.
But I know that in England they don't have property management like here, because the Queen Her Majesty asked in 2008 the voters, the election, and they say no, we don't want certification. So maybe the meaning of property manager there is different than here.
Maybe.
Because in the United States they say property manager to a caretaker as well.
Oh, really?
I have a friend from different province in the United States, different state, not province, and he said, oh, we have a property manager on site, but we have property manager of the whole complex. So property management on site is more or less of caretaker, which is covering here in Canada.
Yeah.
That's why I'm saying property manager could be confused with the caretaker, probably, because in England they don't have. The city actually is coming and can check you out.
Oh.
And they're not so nice like we are.
Yeah.
I've heard that. I have to check this information, but I know that Her Majesty the Queen asked England, do you want the free lease or strata lease?
Yeah.
I mean, do you want this kind of things which we have in Australia, Canada, United States, New Zealand, South Africa also they have it as a ex-colonies, and
Hong Kong,
Hong Kong also. Maybe they have it, but maybe they have it, but maybe it's different than here.
Maybe,
If you have information, I will look for it, because I want to know to compare all the provinces. Australia they have strata management. That's it. It's the strata. It's called the same name even. I was.
Oh really?
Yeah, I have some interviews with other people, and they say we have the same. The legislation could be a little bit different, but still it's following the same rules. So, thank you, Joye. Thank you. It was a pleasure for me. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.